A small bit of background that is relevant to the story before I start. I'm a father, and I was tragically put in a position to give my daughter up for adoption at 6 months old. The family that adopted her keeps me in the loop, sending me videos and pictures of her. Keep that in mind as I tell this story. This takes place 4 years after. I was out deer hunting in northwest Alabama, about 50 miles from the Georgia border. My hunting trip started like any other, gathering supplies, packing up, and checking with all the necessary outlets so if something goes wrong, I can get picked up. I left at about 5 a.m. I got to my destination around 4 p.m. to a hunting lease a buddy of mine had. I then began my trek to a tree blind. Once I got there, I set up my sleeping area and headed off into the woods to find wood for a rocket stove. I found the wood pretty quick. Then I made it back to camp for an evening of relaxation and peace. Before I called it a night, I was sitting around watching some videos of my daughter playing and talking until I got tired and decided to climb into the blind. This blind was about 12 feet in the air, mind you. I was gonna get some shut-eye. I ended up falling asleep rather quickly to the sound of the forest. I woke up in the middle of the night to dead silence. The entire forest was deathly quiet, as if it was waiting for something to happen. The night air was cool on my face as I sat up. Under any other circumstance, it would have been a nice night if I didn't know that a predator was around. While I sat there waiting for any noise to come through, it was as if the night had died. After about 5 minutes, I decided to ignore it and try to get some more sleep for the hunting tomorrow. It took about 30 minutes before I started to doze off again when I heard something that shook me to my core. I heard my daughter's voice. At first, I thought I was hallucinating, but about 30 seconds later, I heard it again. This time, it was close enough to understand what was said. "Daddy, where are you? I'm scared. Help me." It was unmistakably my daughter's voice, only it sounded all wrong, like it was a recording. I checked my phone, but it was turned off to conserve battery. It was a rather bright night, so I decided to peer out of the blind to see if I could see anything. In my head, I wanted to see what was using my daughter's voice. She was 600 miles away from there. There would be no way she was out here with me. This tree blind was set up in such a way to make it really hard to see at this time of night. It overlooks an area where trees were few. They were about 20 feet apart, so there was plenty of moonlight beaming through the branches and reaching the forest floor. At first, I saw nothing but empty woods, but with whatever was using my daughter's voice getting closer, it was only a matter of time. About 5 minutes passed, I heard it again. It seemed to be coming about 50 yards north. I turned my head to look in that direction, and I stopped. My breathing froze. What I saw in front of me was a 7 to 8 foot tall alabaster creature sniffing the air. It had no hair, and it appeared emaciated, like it hadn't fed in about a week. It had long, lanky arms that ended in human-like hands. As it sniffed the surroundings, I felt as though if I even thought about making noise, it would find me, and I would never make it home. Watching it sniff the air for some time, I saw it walk about 100 feet. Then it said again, "Daddy, I'm scared. Help me." This time it sounded more hurried, like it knew I was somewhere around there. I refused to look away as I watched this thing walk off. After about 10 minutes, the sounds of the forest started up again. I let myself relax for a second. Once I did, my entire body ached. I must have been tensing up really hard for a long time. Needless to say, as first light came, I got out of there, and I refused to go back. I've told this story to native friends when I got home, and they think it's a Wendigo, but I'm not too sure. All I know is I will never be back in that area of woods ever again.